Hello dear friends and subscribers of Cricket Happenings. Welcome to the Cricket Happenings show as usual with your host Ram. Well dear friends and subscribers, today I'm welcoming you to the first one-day international cricket report on the first one-day international of the series, which happened between Sri Lanka and South Africa, and the victors were South Africa today, winning the match in a very wonderful way by 75 runs at the Premadasa Stadium here in Colombo. Well, as far as this particular match was concerned, everybody were eagerly looking forward to the start of the one-day series as to know how the teams are playing. Well, it all started with South Africa winning the toss and choosing to bat first. Well, Hashim Amla and Quinton de Kock walked in, and well, there was a decent little partnership from the openers Hashim Amla and Quinton de Kock, as Lasith Malinga and Kuleshekara. In fact, Lasith Malinga was a bit off target today, and he was taken for runs. And the first to get the go was Quinton de Kock, the talented opener. Today he contributed 27 of 35 balls of 35 balls with 3 fours and 1 6. Angelo Matthews, the Sri Lankan captain, was the one who struck it early there by picking up the wicket of Quinton de Kock, who was clean bowled by Matthews for 27. So that was the wicket number 1. The score read 58 for 1 at stage. Jack Scalise walked in amid great expectations. As you know, Jack Scalise, yesterday, as I told you, the coach Russell Domingo has already hinted that Jack Scalise would be a part of the World Cup 2015 setup, and Jack Scalise was sent in as one drop. He came in to join Hashim Amla. Hashim Amla at that particular time was just playing in a very sedate manner, and Scalise joined him. But Ajanta Mendes, the right arm leg spinner, took the wicket of Scalise pretty quickly, as Scalise was adjudged LBW, bowled Ajanta Mendes for a duck, which made the score 60 for 2 for South Africa in the 14th over. In walked then A.B. de Villiers. Now that was the time, 60 for 2, and after that there was a wonderful partnership that ensued between Hashim Amla and the South African captain A.B. de Villiers, as they put on some it's a very useful partnership. From 60 for 2, where probably South Africa was struggling a bit, suddenly there was a partnership which was forthcoming, and that partnership really saw that the Sri Lankan bowlers had to really work hard, because this combination was the one which took the score from 60 for 2 in the 14th over to 211 runs. And so that was a 151 run partnership for the third wicket, which was some exciting stuff there. A.B. de Villiers also playing some very nice strokes. Hashim Amla too doing the same, and both of them really pushing the South African score along by really first consolidating a bit and slowly opening up and playing some fine strokes. And finally Ajanta Mendes was the one who managed to break this very long stand that was going on between Hashim Amla and A.B. de Villiers for the third wicket. And A.B. de Villiers was gone, caught Kuleshekara, bowled Mendes for a superb 75 of 70 deliveries, 5 fours and 1 6. In walked in J.P. Duminy to join Hashim Amla. That was the time Hashim Amla reached his century after de Villiers' departure, and Hashim Amla, well, he played some very good strokes. But what was good about Hashim Amla's innings was it was a very well constructed innings. It was not purely stroke making. Hashim Amla knew the importance of that partnership with de Villiers, where Hashim Amla definitely nurdled some singles, nurdled the runs, and also whenever any loose opportunity was there, the ball was there to be hit, Hashim Amla was stroking it as sweetly as chocolate. And Hashim Amla, well, he did his wonderful job. And also Hashim Amla, as you know, on the first tour game of the Sri Lankan tour. He picked up a century against the board President's 11 when South Africa won the match. Well, today it was a similar story, and Hashim Amla made the bat talk by scoring a century, and this was his 13th century in one-day internationals in his career. He scored 109 runs of 130 balls with 8 fours and 1 6, and once again the man who broke that stand was the right-arm spinner Ajunta Mendes. Ajunta Mendes had Hashim Amla LBW for 109. So that was the time. The score at 239 for 5, and then Depi Dumini was a victim of the bowling of Sachitra Senanaike, the right-arm offie, for 16 of 25 balls with no 4 and no 6. And then David Miller and Ryan McLaren clubbed it towards the end. Especially David Miller, as I said, he is very good against the death overs, and because of the fine partnership that was there between Hashim Amla and A.B. de Villiers, it enabled David Miller to show his full array of strokes there by cracking an unbeaten 36 of 21 balls with 2 4s and 2 6s, and that was a partnership. Again, it was an unbeaten partnership which took the score on to with a 55-run partnership which came in the end overs, and finally South African score stood at 304 for 5 of their 50 overs. The contribution from David Miller being an unbeaten 36 of 21 balls, 2 4s and 2 6s. Ryan McLaren chipped in with 22 of 18 balls with 2 4s. Again, he was also unbeaten, and South Africa, as I said, were 304 for the loss of 5 wickets. Now, looking at the bowling figures for the Sri Lankan bowling, Lasith Malinga today I thought was absolutely off colour. 7 overs leaking 52 runs without a wicket to his name. Kulashekara bowling in the right areas, absolutely superb bowling from Kulashekara, and it was a real sad to see what is the reason Kulashekara never bowled his full quota, because looking at his bowling analysis, the only thing that could probably have prevented Nuwan Kulashekara from coming in and bowling his full quota to me would have been probably some injury or whatever the case may be. But Kulashekara was missed. Look at his bowling figure: 6 overs, no maiden, none for 26. He was the best bowler of the lot, even though Ajunta Mendes wheeled 10 overs, bowled his full quota, giving away 61 runs and also being the most successful wicket taker with 3 wickets for 61, and that he also took the cream de la cream wickets of Hashim Amla, Jack Scalise and A.B. de Villiers. As far as Senanaike was concerned, 10 overs, no maiden, 1 for 49, his return there. Angel Matthews providing the breakthrough, 6 overs, no maiden, 1 for 30. Ashan Priyanjan was carded for 47 runs. All the batsmen went after him. Ashan Priyanjan never got his line right. Probably that was the reason. Probably Kulashekara was injured, and that's the reason Ashan Priyanjan and Tilgat Dilshan were put into action. Tilgat Dilshan also disappointed, his 4 overs costing 31 runs. But it was a very, very good score on a pitch which was a very good pitch to bat on, and as Angelo Matthews rightly said in the post-match press conference, but one thing that the Sri Lankans were really, really guilty, I thought, was the catching was left much to be desired. There were a lot of catch dropped, especially of Hashim Amla and A.B. de Villiers, which really, really, in the end really hurt them, as South Africa went to a winning score of 304 for the loss of 5 wickets. Now, as far as the Sri Lankan target is concerned, they required 305 runs from the 50 overs. Kushal Perera and Tilgat Dilshan walked into open. Kushal Perera took some, he used the pace of Dale Steyn to score some boundaries. Vernon Philander was also hit for boundaries, and the initial portion, Kushal Perera definitely dominating in that partnership with Tilgat Dilshan, and Kushal Perera, after making 34 runs of 33 balls by playing some aggressive strokes, hitting 6 strokes in all, 6 fours in all, was a victim, as Philander picked up his wicket as he was gone. Cott Morkel bowled Philander for 34 of 33 balls with 6 fours. After that, Dilshan followed him to the pavilion, but not before the score reached 98, before Dilshan himself contributing 40 runs of 46 balls with 5 fours, was a victim of Monty Morkel, as Quinton de Kock took the catch. So that made it 98 for 2 in the 17th over. After that, Kumar Sangakkara, as soon as he walked in, signalled his intentions and said that he already made a statement saying that Sangakkara is going to be sticking to the crease today, and that's what he precisely did. because the first ball that he got, he drilled it with a straight drive into the fence as he was joined by Mahela Jayawardene. And that was the time, I mean, A.B. de Villiers had actually given a few overs to Imran Tahir, the right-arm leg spinner, and probably after giving him 2 overs, really took him out of the attack and brought his front-line bowlers into the attack. But then when he saw that Kumar Sangakkara and Jayawardene were the crease, one does not know what was that prompted the captain A.B. de Villiers to bring in Imran Tahir into the attack. He brought Imran Tahir into the attack, and let me tell you what a decision that was. Whatever the plan was, it really worked, as Mahela Jayawardene was a victim there, as Imran Tahir picked up his first wicket by getting rid of Mahela Jayawardene pretty quickly. Jayawardene was walking back to the pavilion after making 10 of 16 balls. Never looked convincing today, I thought, Mahela Jayawardene. So that was the wicket to go. After that, Hashim Amla came in, also didn't really playing some cross-batted swipes as is his play. I mean, he's a very unorthodox player, Hashim Amla, and Kumar Sangakkara was there at the crease. And from 120 to 4, and suddenly Imran Tahir came in and picked up the wicket. In fact, in the very next over, he dismissed Hashim Amla for 5, and Imran Tahir suddenly had put the Sri Lankan innings into a real bother there, with the score reading 138 for 4. In walked in the Sri Lankan captain Angelo Matthews to join in. Kumar Sangakkara was looking pretty solid over there, and he was also playing some brilliant strokes as Sangakkara normally plays. And this score from 138 just moved on to 164. Moni Morkel got the big wicket there of Angelo Matthews, who was caught behind for 13 of 13 balls with 1-4. That made the score 164 for 5 in the 30th over. But Sri Lanka, one man who was staying there was Kumar Sangakkara, and the hopes were still high for the Sri Lankans, even though they lost Angelo Matthews. Lahiru Thirimani walked in, the vice captain of the team. He was there, and Lahiru Thirimani, well, he saw that Kumar Sangakkara suddenly decided to get into action there by carving Ryan McLaren for 3 boundaries, and that probably rubbed off on Thirimani. Thirimani went for something of that shot where his head was high up in the air as he drove at a ball from Ryan McLaren, but only to see his stump shattered for 15 of 26 balls with no 4 and no 6. So Thirimani was a goner, bowled McLaren, and that made the score 216 for 6. But Sangakkara was still there entrenched at the crease as Kulashekara came in and joined. But I thought Thirimani, in that circumstances, considering the fact that even though Kulashekara, Senanayake, Mendes and Malinga were yet to come, it definitely exposed the tail of Sri Lanka, because I thought Lahiru Thirimani could have shown some restraint over there, and he should have realized that this was the most important partnership, and that was not a good stroke on the part of Lahiru Thirimani as he was gone for 15. And then Sangakkara then really had some pressure on him, because once Thirimani passed away, Sangakkara had to really take on something, because the score was reading 216 for 6 in the 38th over when Thirimani departed. And essentially, if you look at it, they had around 13 overs still to go. I mean, if you nip off one delivery, less than 13 overs, 12.5 overs still to go. But the target was really something which was absolutely possible. But definitely one would have expected what happened, because Kumar Sangakkara going for the stroke perished there, and that was the one that the South African wanted. That was the wicket that South African wanted to really go and seal the game, and that's what they precisely did. Ryan McLaren was the one who picked up that very prized wicket of Kumar Sangakkara by dismissing him for 88 of 84 balls with 9 fours. And I would say, as soon as Kumar Sangakkara departed with the score on 217, I thought the Sri Lankan challenge had absolutely ended, because after that it was pretty quick work by the South African bowlers. Nuwan Kulashekara was clean bowled by Dale Steyn for 1 of 3 deliveries. Senanayake was sent back to the pavilion, clean bowled by Imran Tahir for 6 of 5 deliveries with 1-4. Ajanta Mendes was sent out for a blob by Dale Steyn, as was Scott McLaren bowled Steyn for a blob of 7 balls. Lasith Malinga was not out on 6 after hitting the solitary 6 of the Sri Lankan innings. There was only 1 6 hit by Sri Lanka in the entire innings of 229 all out, as Lasith Malinga was the one who hit that 6, and he had the temerity to clatter. I thought it was, if I am not wrong, it was Imran Tahir whom he clattered into the stands for a 6. So Lasith Malinga was not out on 6, and the Sri Lankan innings, when Kumar Sangakkara was there, the hope was there, and Lahiri Thirumane was there, there was hope. But Lahiri Thirumane playing a false stroke at that very, very crucial juncture really put paid to Sri Lanka's hopes, and then Kumar Sangakkara departing for 88 sealed the match for Sri Lanka, as Sri Lanka were all out for 229, and what a start for South Africa in their first one-day international of the series, as South Africa took the match by 75 runs. So South Africa winning the match with 75 runs, taking a 1-0 lead in the 3-match series. Now, as far as the bowling was concerned for the South Africans, Dale Steyn, 7.3 overs, no maiden, 2 for 38. I thought he definitely got some tap from the bat of Kushal Perera at the beginning of the innings, but then he came back pretty well to finish with 2 for 38 of 7.3 overs. Vernon Philander, 8 overs, no maiden, 1 for 40 his returns. Morne Morkel also bowled superbly, 7 overs, no maiden, 2 for 39. Ryan McLaren, 6 overs, went for 33 with 2 wickets to his name. Imran Tahir, I thought he was the one who came in and picked up 2 important wickets in the middle there to really put Sri Lanka into some real bother, and from there on I thought the Sri Lankan bowlers the South African bowlers really capitalized on that opportunity, which Imran Tahir, 7 overs, no maiden, 3 for 50, and Dumini bowling 5 overs for 24 runs. No prizes for guessing here. Hashim Amla of South Africa with the 13th century of his one-day international career, taking the man of the match, the player of the match award. Now, so as far as I thought that the only thing that I would like to say, just doing a sort of a very quick analysis here, is that one is it was a good pitch to bat on, and I thought that if Sri Lanka could have held on to their catches, especially when the very important third wicket partnership was going on between A.B. de Villiers and Amla, I thought probably the Sri Lankans could have probably restricted the South Africans to less than probably around 275 mark probably. But that is something that I would like to speak about. And other than that, as far as Sri Lanka is concerned, I can only say one thing, that wicket in the middle when Lahiri Thirumane was gone, it was at a very crucial time, because one thing that Lahiri Thirumane needed to realize at that stage was that Kumar Sangakkara was there, so his job was to just rotate the strike, get the strike to Sangakkara, and that would have actually lessened the burden and the pressure on Sangakkara. But because of Lahiri Thirumane getting out, it increased the pressure on Sangakkara, because he knew that even though Kulashekara and Senanayaka have the pretensions of batting, I mean they could still be termed as good all-rounders, but Sangakkara probably was under a bit of pressure, and he probably thought the target of when Thirumane departed, the score was 216. So it probably, I'm sure, probably Sangakkara has probably thought that probably it won't be so easy to get those 93 runs if Sangakkara is only going to put bat to ball, and that's the precise reason Sangakkara had to take up the challenge. And once Sangakkara fell, everything fell away for Sri Lanka. As I said, the tail was quickly snapped up by the South African pace bowlers, and it was all over. So, well, as far as the bowling was good, so I'm sure South Africa will be going with a lot of confidence, because now this was a it was a day match, but now on Wednesday we have the second one-day international of the series coming up between South Africa and Sri Lanka, and that is going to be a day-nighter. So that will be very interesting, with the dew factor coming into effect, as you know, whenever the opposition plays. So that will be pretty interesting to see how things pan out. But for Sri Lanka, one thing that they have to do is they have to go and actually win that match on Wednesday. But if they are going to miss that bus, and if they are going to make the same mistakes that they made today, then let me tell you that South Africa will take the series, because this is just a three-match series, three-match one-day international series, which is going on right now. Well, that's it, dear fans and subscribers. Nothing else to really add. So I hope you all like my cricket report on the first one-day international between Sri Lanka and South Africa. That really ends up my cricket happening show this on a Sunday. See you all tomorrow. That's on a Monday. Until then, it's goodbye from your host Ram Studios on this cricket happening show. Thank you.